very much for having me. First of all, Vicky, thank you so much for bringing us here. We're only here for a day now, and we're already having a great time. It's unforgettable. I've met so many interesting, inspiring people already, so thank you very much for that. And then second, Archer, thank you for setting up the system. We sent the system here. Oh, there you are. I was looking for you. We sent the system here, and Archer planted it completely, and it looks amazing. We haven't been able to make anything looking like this before. So I realize it's well, running through the day, you've been listening a lot, so I would like to keep this a bit interactive. I'm a really bad listener, I know that for myself, and I'm a bit jet lagged. So in order for me to stay awake and for you to stay awake, I made my presentation a quiz. So just to make it interactive. So what you will hear once in a while is yeah, there you go. Good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you some questions once in a while to see if you're still tuned in and still awake and listening. And maybe you can help me out with some of the stuff. I have a lovely assistant with me today, which is Nanda. So we do have prizes for everyone that answers a question correctly. Okay, so now that's clear. Let me first introduce myself. There are two parts of me. The informal part, I'm a rugby player, I'm a singer, I'm going to get married in September. I'm a stepmom to two fantastic children. I'm pretty outgoing and I'm really Dutch, which means that I'm direct. So any cultural differences, sorry for that beforehand. But I'm mainly going to talk about the formal part, which is I did a PhD in environmental technology. I worked on producing electricity from plants, and I'm CEO of the spin-out company Planty. So it all started in 2008. And I was located in the nice building you see over there. It's a really old university building in Wageningen. Wageningen is one of the universities in the Netherlands. And the funny thing is it's the most international university, and not one foreign student is able to pronounce Wageningen. So, but I started my PhD there in 2008 at the Sub-Department of Environmental Technology, and it was on producing electricity with living plants. And I was pretty skeptical when I started, and I really didn't want to be in academics, but to say, well, this is really interesting technology, and we want to make a spin-off company coming out of the research, and we think you can do it. And well, I was lured into it, and well, it worked out pretty well. I worked 4 days a week on my research, and 1 day a week I was working at Wageningen Business School, and I combined the two. And then I started developing a business case for the technology I was working on, and in the end it turned out that in 2009 we established Planty, the spin-off company, and I was working 1 day a week on developing the business plan, developing the company, thinking about how it should look in the future and how it could be applied, while 4 days a week working on the fundamental research. And the first idea we had with the company was that it would look something like this. So you produce electricity with living plants, you put the plants on a rooftop. Well, the green roof does what it does always. So it insulates the building, it retains stormwater, it looks really nice, so the aesthetic value is high. And at the same time, you can produce electricity with that roof for the building underneath. And that's why we did the first outdoor experiment. And this was still in 2009, and it looked like this. And basically, we just bought our materials from one of the stores and then started tying things together. So we were really a bootstrapping company. And we established our company, Planty, and we had just an initial presentation of the company to tell our department we were working in, because I started it with one of my colleagues from university, and we told the department, hey, we started up a spin-off company, come by and have a look at our first experiment. So here we are on the roof. This is one of the rare sunny days in the Netherlands. You might have noticed we brought the weather with us. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, we only established the company. We were right at the beginning of the fundamental research of the technology, so nothing had happened. And one way or the other, media just jumped on it. And they were like, wow, we can produce electricity with living plants. We can charge our cell phones with plants. And there was no way we could do that at that time. It was way too early. We just told them how it worked. But obviously, all the expectations that were grown in the media, we couldn't meet them. So what happened is that at one point, someone called us a gnome technology. So something that's small and that will never grow. And we decided to make a trademark out of that. So we had a lot of fun with this demo for one of the university promotion days. And this one was at a music festival. So we put gnomes in everywhere. But we realized we had to grow up. So we decided to make a pilot plant green electricity roof. And we built it out of this type of boxes. Because we didn't have so much money and not so much time. So we worked on this and then built a pilot plant of 15 square meters. And that was in 2011. And it looked like this. And right now, the whole roof is completely covered in different types of green roofs. And this was our first pilot plant. And in the same year, we decided that it was a good moment, because of all the media attention we had, to enter in the Postcode Lottery Green Challenge. It's still running, so everyone working in Cleantech, working in a startup company, this is really something you have to enter. It's fantastic. And we decided it was a good time for us to enter the competition. But we decided it had to be good. Our application had to stand out. So we made a movie.
Our world is confronted with an energy crisis on a global scale. Our traditional energy systems are polluting our planet with carbon dioxide and waste, and some resources will perish in the next few decades. That's why the demand for new forms of energy rises. Energy that is renewable and sustainable. And equally important, energy that is available to everyone. Because all over the world, 1.4 billion people don't have access to electricity. Without electricity, they have no light to read, no phone to communicate, no computer to participate in the world. They are limited in their economic and social development. After the rise of solar energy, wind energy, and hydropower, Planty introduces a new type of sustainable energy. Electricity from living plants. David Strick, one of the founders of Planty, explains how it works.
Welcome to our lab at Wageningen University. This is where we invented how living plants generate electricity. The plant lives on solar energy. In this process, called photosynthesis, the plant produces organic matter. About half of this organic matter is transported via the plant roots into the soil. There, naturally occurring bacteria break down the organic matter. In this process, electrons and protons are produced as a kind of waste product. By providing an inert carbon electrode, we can harvest these energy-rich electrons. In our technology, the electrons flow through a power harvester to the cathode, where oxygen, protons and electrons meet to produce water. So, by easily placing 2 carbon electrodes in the soil, we can produce literally green electricity. For some people, this may resemble the Apple battery, which uses a copper penny and a zinc nail to produce electricity. However, the Apple battery consumes copper and zinc, which poisons the apple. So this is not sustainable. Planty technology is different. We make use of inert carbon electrodes, self-repairing plants and bacteria to make sustainable and clean electricity.
So in short, Planty uses natural energy flows. All that is needed is light, carbon dioxide and water. In urban areas, for example, the roofs of houses and offices are extremely suitable. Equipped with this technology, these roofs always generate electricity, day or night, summer or winter. Sounds too good to be true? In Wageningen, the first green electricity roof has been realized.
This is the first green electricity roof in the world. After years of development in the lab, we now build our first pilot plant here on the roof of the Netherlands Institute of Ecology. This is a modular system of 15 square meters, and it should be enough to charge your cell phone, for example. The nice thing of the green electricity roof is that it combines electricity production with the advantages of a green roof. For example, water storage and insulation of your building. After this first pilot plant, we will start building complete green electricity roofs, and they generate enough electricity to power half of your household. Green, clean and affordable.
After successfully introducing green electricity roofs in urban areas, the ultimate goal is to accommodate every region in the world with Planty electricity. A good start would be to equip existing rice fields with Planty technology. But in fact, every kind of wetland is qualified. Even in problem areas where water has become brackish or is polluted, Planty electricity is possible, so that everyone in the world can have plenty.
Now, and what you see here is our first commercial system. So this system can be used at any size, any scale, to produce electricity from living plants, and use it, for example, to light street lighting. And you could use any type of wetland plants. So the system is submerged in water, so you need plants that can grow with their roots submerged. But basically, apart from that, there are no restrictions on what plants to use. And I really like the fact that Vicky told us about organic farming. During the research, we actually found out that tomatoes can grow in the system as well, because they can grow wet. But the only tomato species that actually provide electricity are the natural species. So everything that's cultivated doesn't produce any electricity. And the reason for that is that we cultivated our crops, our food crops, so far that they don't excrete any organic material in soil. And that's why they don't have any bacteria around the roots, and they don't have a natural protection for diseases and viruses, for example. So that's why all our crops, all our food crops get sick. And it was really funny that we actually found out that it was like that when we set up this system. Now, let's go back to the timeline. We're getting closer to today. So in 2012, I graduated from my PhD, and then I had my hands free to fully devote my time to the spin-off company. My co-founder and I, we had been able to acquire some funds, and that helped us to hire the first people. Well, the first one we hired is Nanda, my lovely assistant you've met. And Nanda and I started working full-time on Planty, well, at the start of 2013. And we launched our first product. And that leads to another question. What's the first product we brought to the market? We called it the Planty Planet. And it was this globe that was just turning around on Planty electricity. We didn't get it produced for a reasonable price. So we decided to abandon it for a while. It's probably, well, something comparable is probably coming back somewhere next year. But what was more important, we acquired a big subsidy to start a development project to develop a next system together with the 2 Dutch provinces, and we were able to expand the team. So here we are. This was our team at that time. So basically our team consists of 6 people and some advisors and interns and students always around us. And we started developing 2 things with this team. The first thing was our modular system, which is set up here as well. And the second one was a tubular system. And the tubular system is meant to produce electricity in existing wetlands. Now, here we go. Let's put it into your perspective, because this is the interesting part for you. I read you're looking at getting 33% renewable energy in 2020 in California. So, John, this is where we start broadening our program, because now we're moving to California. If you take our modular system, what could you use it for? Well, you could put it on a roof, as I already said. And the nice thing is, they insulate buildings. And what you have here, and what we don't have in the Netherlands, is air conditioning. We don't have it in the Netherlands because we don't have high temperatures, so obviously we don't need it. But an air conditioning, on average, uses 16% of the energy use of a household in California. These are numbers I got from your government, so if it's not correct. But it's just to give you an idea. A green roof could halve those costs. And that would be 8% of savings just by putting on a green roof. Now imagine if you put on a green roof on your rooftop that produces electricity so that you can light your LED lights in the whole building with the green roof. So you get savings and electricity production combined. And stormwater retention, which could be useful on days like today. The other type of application, and this is a picture of the first project we did in the Netherlands. It's 100 square meters, and it lights street lighting. Now, 90% of the commercial electricity use is used for lighting. And that includes street lighting. And there's a lot going on in that. And we provide these combined solutions. Well, this is just a small one. But this could be on during the night, light continuously. And you wouldn't have any external electricity need because it's just a closed system. Then the second thing, the tubular system. This system is still under development. We started developing it in 2013, I think. The prototype is ready. We're having, we got very good results with the first prototype. We tested it in the lab, and now we're trying to get it outside. We're struggling with Dutch government to get it funded. By now, I'm confident that it would be easy here, easier at least than it would be in the Netherlands. To give you an idea, this is somewhere near San Francisco. This type of wetland we could use as a power plant while conserving the wetland. And that's the important part. There's no discussion about competing claims for the same area. We combine several applications for the same area. And if you put that into numbers, California has 3.8 million acres of wetland. I've been doing some recalculation here because normally we use a metric system, so we use hectares, and so I had to recalculate the stuff. But basically, you've got 3.8 million hectares of wetland. Our future power output will be 113 megawatt hours per acre per year. And that's quite substantial. So the first thing people always remark when they see the system is that, oh, you probably need a lot of plants to produce some electricity, right? No, not right. Because it's working day and night and the year round, it actually produces a lot of electricity, just not what you have with solar power. It produces peak electricity. We don't do that. We provide electricity stably day and night. And actually, this would be a total maximum of 436 terawatt hours per year. Now I hear you thinking, how much is that? So, any one of you, what's the yearly electricity demand in California? Well, California is doing pretty well compared to the rest of the United States. But if you multiply this number with the number of inhabitants, you come to a total of 270 terawatt hours per year. That's being used as electricity for the whole state of California. As a researcher, obviously, I used several sources to get this number confirmed. So, what percentage of the Californian electricity consumption could be provided by Californian wetlands? So actually, you would only need about 60% of the Californian wetlands to produce all the electricity you need. So, and if you put that into global perspective, we would need 15%, so 1/5, of the wetlands to produce all the electricity we use worldwide. And the thing is, when you talk to people about this, and the first thing they say, and specifically in the Netherlands, the first thing they will say is, you must have miscalculated. That's not correct. I don't believe you. And okay, we haven't proven that it's correct. We haven't reached the number we want to reach. This system is not producing, well, in Dutch measures, 28 kilowatt hours per square meter per year, which is where we want to go. But we're getting closer and closer. And the thing is, we have to use what's already there. Pressure on the surface, Earth's surface is increasing, and it will only get worse with more people on our planet and more electricity demand, more energy demand in general. We need to use that the best way we can, and that's by combining several applications on the same surface. And the nice thing is with this system, right now these are all native Californian plants. In the Netherlands we would use different species, or at least some of them, because they are native to our place. Basically every place in the world has the species that can grow submerged. And people tell me, but we need wetlands. I said, no, we need wastewater. Put in wastewater. Put in salt water. You know what happens when you put in salt water? It works better. You know what happens when you put in wastewater? Works better. And that's nice. Nature goes its way. It does what it needs to do, and it's already there. It's been there for over 4 billion years. So why not use it the best way we can? It's a complete closed system. We're not taking anything out. We're using what nature has already given us. So, thank you very much.